This was like if you were out in the ocean and your boat sunk and you're swimming to shore and the people who is telling you they're going to help you keeps dropping rocks on your back, because that's what this government did for me. They sunk my sons. They sunk my family. Because of Justin Trudeau, my 2 sons are dead.
Well, folks, you never know who you're going to meet at a freedom rally, and I bumped into Kayne Noel of Cochrane, Alberta. She has a tragic story to tell. Just will you hear this interview. Ma'am, you have a poster that says, "I'm here because of my boys, Kayne and Jake, gone but not forgotten," and they passed away in 2021. What happened?
Both of my sons had been in treatment for addiction. Treatment that I might add that I paid for, because any treatment the government pretends to have, they don't have. Both of my boys had gotten their tickets back together, were getting straightened out. Both of them were working. Both of them lost their jobs. AA meetings were shut down. Any meeting to help with drug addiction was shut down. Both of them died of drug overdose. This was like if you were out in the ocean and your boat sunk and you're swimming to shore and the people who telling you they're going to help you keeps dropping rocks on your back, because that's what this government did for me. They sunk my sons. They sunk my family. Because of Justin Trudeau, my 2 sons are dead. I was not allowed to go into my son's house to see his dead body, but when I left out of exhaustion, the cop decided to allow my daughter and son-in-law to go in. That was my baby, my flesh and blood. Jake belonged to me, and some cop got to decide who got to see him. And I got a half-an-hour funeral with my children, with 9 guests allowed.
Do you feel in your heart that they wouldn't digress into drug abuse, that they would still be with us today?
I know they would still be with us today, because both of them were progressing. Just days before Jake died, we were talking about the new year and how he was going to get all this legal crap cleared up with, that he was going through. 3 days after my youngest son died, and it was his older brother, Kayne, who found him. They were sleeping on a sectional together. He was at my house, and rightfully so, he lost it. His girlfriend calls 911 for help, and you know what happens? The cops come along, they brutalize him, they handcuff him, they throw him in the back of a cop car, they take him to jail, and they throw him into a jail cell without even as much as a pillow. These are the people that are in this with us together.
What brings you to Ottawa for this Rolling Thunder celebration? They're calling it a celebration of our rights and freedoms. Rights and freedoms, I would argue, that are consistently under attack by this federal government.
The reason I'm here is because one of my dead sons has 2 children, and I have 2 daughters, and I have 2 other grandchildren besides that. I do not want them to be left with a country that resembles China. The reason I'm here is because Justin Trudeau admires the Chinese government.
He said so in his own words.
In his own words.
Of admiration I actually have for China. Basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime.
I want to be able to decide what I do with my body, because it's this government that decided what to do with my children, and they're both dead. And all the people that got to decide what medicines my kids were allowed to do and not, there's not one of those shed a tear.
Well, ma'am, as a father of 2 boys myself, I can't imagine outliving them as you have with your 2 sons. I'm so sorry yet again. But in the meantime, you've got a great spirit. Keep fighting for freedom.
I want to tell you one more thing. There's not a lot of people it mightn't have bothered them when Kayne and Jake died, but it's going to bother them, because I've got nothing left to do now but to expose this corruption, and I'm coming after every one of you that hurt my sons. Everyone!
Hey folks, we here at Rebel News will go all across the country, all across the world indeed, to bring you the other side of the story, things that don't get covered, well at least covered fairly by the mainstream media, such as the Trucker Freedom Convoy. If you want to see our reports on those freedom movements, please go to convoyreports.com. That's convoyreports.com. And if you're able to, please kick in $1 or $3 so that we can cover our expenses. Thanks so much.